Hello.
Hello, it's this very, very sunny day.
Yes, definitely.
Lovely. Last couple of days have been really nice.
Oh, yesterday wasn't that great here. It was overcast and a bit cold, but today it's been cracking flags, as they say.
Yeah, no, it's been really, it was warm yesterday. It's been even warmer today, and it's supposed to get even warmer this week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to crack out the fans if it gets any warm, because honestly, it is boiling in here without the window open.
Yeah, it's peak summer weather this week. So
the problem is when you're live streaming and recording videos is you can't really have the window open because you can hear
everything. Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to break out the fans at some point, get them down and make sure they're working. Stick your tongue on them to make sure they still cut your tongue in.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I've got my Partworks through, which is great, but I still don't have. There won't be no Tumblr this week,
right?
And that is simply because we just get another tire. So the next 2 issues, we build another tire, and there's just not enough content because we literally get the outer part of the tire, but I don't think we do anything. We don't do anything.
Well, I don't know. You could do a video of what you've done so far.
I could do. Yeah, I could do.
The last update video before the reveal at the end. So I'm just saying you could do this is what I've done so far. This is what we've built so far.
Yeah.
Do it that way, and then
I just thought that there was not enough. There was not enough content because, like I said, all we're getting is the outer bit, like we had last time. And I can't see anything else that we're doing. Literally, just got the tire, and we don't get any screws or anything like that. So that we're not screwing anything in. We're not putting anything on. So yeah, I just thought I'd save it because the following week we get the center plate. So the 2 issues are going to build the one wheel. So I just thought it might bulk it up, but I might do one, I might not do one. It just depends. But yeah, apart from that, everything's turned up. We've got the 66 Batmobile tomorrow and the Nissan Skyline on Tuesday. So, and we've got some Snoopy because Kirsty Snoopy's come along. She said she wants to do the rest of the issues, so they will be on the rest of this week. What about yourself, Mark?
Well, if everybody's been following, I've been releasing more Orrery because I've now got all the issues to finish that. And I'm waiting on a delivery from Hachette because I've got 20 issues or stages of the U96 coming my way.
Brilliant.
So you can, if you are behind, you can ring them up and you can fast track your build, and that's order a bulk. So I've done that and I've got that coming. So happy days of building ahead.
Yeah.
So you might not get 1 video a day. You might get 2 videos a day.
Oh, double trouble. But yeah, it will be a bit sparse this week. The weather's nice as well, so I want to spend some time out, do stuff. You know what it's like in sunny UK. It can be 30 degrees one day and snow in the next. So I want to take the opportunity to spend some time in the sun.
Okay. Right, let's go through news. I'm going to do the bad news first, which was brought to my attention again this week. And this is actually on IXO's main page. I don't know much information about this, but if you are in the US, there is now a notification at the top of the page saying customer information USA. Shipments to the United States are temporarily suspended. A local purchasing solution will be available soon.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's all that I know is just what's come up on their website.
Yeah, I think this is the start of things to come.
Yeah.
I already know other companies that I follow, sort of Hot Toys, 1/6 scale stuff, and certain action figures as well. And companies already starting to put out a very, very similar statement. Even Entertainment Earth, a big sort of company in the US. They've already put out one as well, saying that they're temporarily suspending or upping prices.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means for IXO. I don't know whether they might use a company in the US like they have done with Mike Lane, where you can order through them to get the models, but it doesn't look like the US is able to order direct from IXO.
No.
Anymore. Unfortunately.
Yeah, not for the time being anyway.
Okay. So that's the bad news.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I have to disclaim that no kitties were harmed in the making of last week's live stream.
Yes.
Just to put a disclaimer out there.
Yes.
Okay, so on to really good news though. This is now on Fan Home UK.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. It just appeared and it went live straight away.
Yeah, so there's no pre-order.
No pre-order.
No pre-order. Order it now. And
yeah, I believe it's not even available in France to get yet. I think it's on pre-order over there.
Yeah. Sorry, but this just strengthens my suspicion that Fan Home have got a deal with Universal and Fast and Furious, and they are doing the Fast and Furious cars.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this probably isn't going to be the last one. That's just my feeling on it. I don't know anything about it or anything what's going on with the Fast and Furious, but because we've got now the 3 cars, this just strengthens, like you were saying, just strengthens that we're probably going to see more Fast and Furious cars coming out. So
we've got the usual bits and pieces on it. We do have some photographs, so I can go through them.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Nice colour.
Bright orange.
So there we can see it does look amazing. But I haven't built any of the cars, so yeah.
It looks really nice, but I'm rapidly running out of space to put cars. So if I do a car, it has to be very selective. And I've got for me, the Dodge Charger is primarily Dom's car. And it's the one you see Dom with all the time. So that's, and then the first car you think of when you think of Brian's car is the Skyline.
No, I always think, when I think of Brian's car, I think of his first car in the first movie, the one which he loses to Dom.
Is that that's the Esprit, isn't it? The Eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the green Eclipse.
Yeah. So
for me, it's the Skyline, but I mean, everyone has their own cars. I mean, you could literally do a cruise with these. You could have them loads up in like a parking lot set up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So really nice pictures that have come in. We have the specifications, so high quality materials, so die-cast metal and ABS injection molding. Faithful replica of the original car in every detail. Boot with NOS nitrous oxygen bottles, engine and horn sounds, illuminated dashboard and interior lights. Stitchcraft seats replicated those in the movie car. All electronic functions are activated by remote control. Detailed interior, including Sparco steering wheel, and delivered, painted, and ready for assembly. We do have a 360-degree view. There's more information on this than there was on the Red Bull.
Yes. A nice top view there. You can actually see it. And it's good as well because the middle section comes out.
Yeah, like it should
as well.
do.
So you can have it as a soft top.
So we've got the inspiring content as usual. Extra free gift for PayPal subscribers. That looks so much suspiciously like the Skyline and the Dodge Charger backpack. Yeah,
I do like the hoodie.
Yes. So
if it was anything, I would subscribe just for that hoodie because it looks really nice.
Yeah. So this time you get a hoodie instead of a t-shirt. Yeah. You also get a 143 scale replica.
Yep.
We have mugs as well. Nice orange mugs. We have the number plate. And lastly, we have some posters.
Yeah, posters and a mug are normally the guaranteed ones.
Number plate normally with cars now, I'd say.
Yeah, I've got one for the Skyline and obviously the 66.
Yeah.
So.
Now I can catch Fan Home out here because I do sometimes read small print. So we've got high quality slip cases. Okay,
yeah.
we're getting it right. Slip cases.
Yeah.
Premium offer is a display case as well.
Yeah, can I just remind people about the display case? Is it got the measurements for that display case?
No.
Right. If Fan Home are listening, it might be worth putting measurements for the display case, because I've seen lots of people get the display case and then unable to display it because it's too big.
Right.
Okay. I've seen quite a lot of posts on Facebook about it.
Okay, so this is actually completing 110 assembly stages. Yeah. Okay. And then you've got all the bits and pieces. So the first assembly stage costs $195. The second and third assembly stages are free. And then each assembly stage after that are $11.99. And then it obviously says about paying £1 more for the premium. And then you will also receive fantastic gifts throughout the duration of your subscription. This is where it lets them down. You will receive binders with issues 6, 20, 40, 60, 100. They're not binders. They're just set up there. They were split cases.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not binders.
No.
This is really doing my head in now.
Your OCD's gone.
Will you stop calling them binders? They are slip cases.
Yeah.
You got it right in the big print. Get it right in the small print. Right.
I'm sure it'll be sorted.
Yeah. So, yeah, please adjust that. They are not binders. So there we go. Then we have another one. So, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Very orange, though. Very, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the cars in the first couple of films were sort of very bright in colour.
Mm.
And they were sort of done in the style as like street cars. As they've moved on, they've done less stuff like this, and they tend to be normal cars going forward, don't they?
Yeah.
With no decals on them and everything else. So.
But yeah, I always found the earlier movies it was more about the cars than it was about anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of gone into if you obviously watch the series, the first 3 films are about the cars.
Yeah.
And then when they redone the series, it became Ocean's 11 with cars. It was just heist movies. Yeah. And that's all they did was heist movies afterwards. And every film afterwards has been a heist movie.
Mm.
But with cars.
And I preferred it when it was all about the cars because that's what everybody loved. But
yeah.
There we go. So there we go with the news for this week. So
yeah.
Also one piece of information, and you got this, Kev, and I got this. Yeah. So we did get an email from Fan Home, and basically it says, recently we contacted you to inform that new production room was required for summer stages of this collection. This is the Enterprise D. Now the production has started, we can provide following dates for when stock is due to reach local warehouse. Stages 56 to 82 is due to reach the warehouse in August. 81 to 100 is due to reach the warehouse in September. And 101 to 120 is due to reach the warehouse in October. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I did my last one this week, which was issue 24. Now I've got to wait until September to get to start it again.
It'll affect some people. It won't affect some people. It's a case of it's going to come when it comes. It's a bit.
Yeah, they've let you know what's going on, which is brilliant, because I think there's a lot of stuff where they I mean, just imagine if they didn't say anything.
Well, I know, but it's.
But I also understand why people get a bit frustrated with it. You know, going by those dates, I'll be finished probably at the start of next year now, which will take it to the 5-year mark for me.
Yeah.
Because I did it.
I know it's
a long.
I know it's a long space mission, and they're out there to find.
Well, the original series was 5 years. It was a 5-year mission.
Okay. All right. So, they didn't say that when we signed up that it'd be a 5-year mission.
No. They certainly didn't, but I suppose we should expect it as it being Star Trek. We should go, oh, okay, it's 5-year mission, you know.
Yeah, but they don't have to match what the TV series
says. Yeah.
No? Okay. Yeah. Right, let's go through some chat. Lot to share as usual. I really got to scroll up to the top here. So, 2:35 yesterday. We have Steve131 with evening all. So, good evening, Steve.
Evening, Steve.
And then we've got D Harris at 6:03 saying, a very good evening, Mark and Kev. I'll take second place against Steve. So, good evening, D.
Evening for yesterday.
And then we've got Flip Dip, who was up at 6:36 a.m. this morning, saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, good evening, Flip Dip.
Yeah, good evening.
And then today at 13 minutes past 3, we've got Kevin and Mary, who says, afternoon, everyone. Hi, Kev and Mark too. So, hi, Kevin and Mary.
Hi, Kevin and Mary.
I've got to get it all in.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next in tonight, we've got Spider Sprue, who says, hello, Mark, on this channel. So, hi, Spider Sprue. Welcome. And then he also says, hi, Kev, on this channel.
Hi, Spider Sprue.
And then Spider Sprue says, got an email from Fran Home saying the last pack of the Infinity Gauntlet is delayed till August now.
Yeah, I think there was, I think the email that we got for the Enterprise build, I think it was also for the Infinity Gauntlet. There was another one as well, because I think it's on their customer service page.
So,
pick it up. It'll take me 2 seconds. I think it was. Yeah, that was the August one. Ecto 1, Enterprise D, and the DeLorean.
Right.
The dates are all very similar, but there are different dates between the UK and the USA. So the USA get the parts closer to closer than we do, if you know what I mean.
Right. So
if you're in for the Enterprise build, for instance, if you're in the US, stages 30 to 80 will be in August.
That's same
as 81 to 100 is September.
Same as UK.
Oh, it's the same as UK. And yeah, it's the same as UK. But Ecto 1, that is the USA are a month in front on their builds, and the DeLorean as well. They're the same as the USA as well, I think.
Right.
So they're all facing their delays. There was these 3 plus the Infinity Gauntlet. It's great that they're letting us know. I can understand people's frustration. But it is just the situation we just got to put up with. We will finish these models.
I hope so.
It's going to take a little bit longer.
I hope so.
Yes, that's all right.
We've got Mark's Hobbies in, who says, hi, one and all. Hi, Mark's Hobbies. Welcome.
Hi, Mark.
And then he says, I got one about the Back to the Future car.
Yeah.
We've got David Hawley in, who says, a very good evening, Kev and Mark and everyone. Good evening, David. Welcome.
Good evening, David. Welcome, as always.
We've got Burgess in, who says, good evening, everyone. Evening, Burgess.
Hi, Burgess.
And then we've got David Phillips, who says, evening, everyone. Evening, David.
Evening, David.
And then we've got Dave Matt Bales, who says, good evening, Mark and Kev. Have a great stream tonight. I finally made it to this one. Fantastic. Nice one, Dave Matt.
Brilliant.
Welcome. Burgess says, good news. I actually recorded a video today. Cool.
Oh, brilliant.
Yay.
That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah. We've got Andy Carroll says, hi, Kev, hi, Mark, and everyone in chat. Hope you all had this heat week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah. Ian's World of Models says, evening, Mark and Kev. Another Sunday has come upon us. It's been quite a long week for me. It's really sort of dragged on a bit.
It feels like it's been a longer week than it has. Obviously, I've had a lot of stuff turn up, and I've been doing stuff as well. So, yeah, it does feel like this week's longer.
Yeah. Will's Workshop says, evening all on Mark's channel. Welcome, Will. And then he says, and a good evening to all on Kev's channel. Hit that like button.
Cheers, Will. Yeah, everyone hit the like button. 2 seconds it takes. Ooh.
Yeah. We've got Kevin Fairclough who says, one for Kev. Have you seen the Nacelle Star Trek new figures line?
I have, and there's only a few I really want. In fact, I'm more interested in the Master Replicas Star Trek line. But it was positive news, but then these tariffs hit and a lot of action figures are going up in price or are not going to get delivered. So I'm curious about what's going to happen with that. But I have seen them, yeah.
We've got Stephen Haynes Models in and says, hi, Mark and Kev. Hi, Stephen. Welcome.
Stephen.
Then we've got Steve131 who says, evening all. Evening again, Steve.
Hi,
welcome.
Steve. Welcome back.
I have starred these. We got Howard in saying, I'm just here to make sure Mark gets his Hello Kitty sub.
We did. That isn't going to stop now.
Yeah. Like I said, no kitties were harmed in the making of last week's live stream. What Burgess says, low chance of snow now, so I put the summer tyres on the car this week.
Brilliant.
I'm going to say it's April. You've got low chance of snow.
Yep.
Crazy. We've got Amber M, who says, hi all, happy Sunday. Hi, Amber, welcome.
Hi, Amber.
And D says, build on, Mark. I am doing. I'm working through it. We've got Jason at Cadnola Builds, who says, hello, everyone. Hi, Jason. Welcome.
Jason, welcome.
Oh, got my eldest son in. Got Lamb Choppy, who says, the Super Yes. Hi, Jack. Welcome.
Hi, Jack. Welcome.
Howard says, oh, glad then I bought all the ones I did from IXO. All it will be the train I was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that's all going to work. I don't know whether it's just on full builds or if you're part building it. I don't know. It's just on their banner as you go on. I would imagine you get an email.
Yeah. So I don't know. Don't know what's going to happen there. And yeah.
Like I said, I think it comes into effect the 2nd or 3rd of May. And a load of I'm obviously I look at all the action figure companies as well, and a lot of other companies, they've all started putting out similar statements. I don't think it's the only one. It'd be interesting to see if any other partwork company or model build company does the same.
Yeah,
be interesting.
Yeah. Steve131 says, never seen any Fast and Furious.
You're missing them. Brilliant. They're good films. I think they're good films. They're not, don't take them too seriously. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Burgess says, my Ecto 1 issue 27, 99 to 102 is delayed.
Yeah.
It's not
actually,
Ecto
I've got to take
long one as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've got to tell you something. Someone local to me was getting rid of Ecto 1.
Yeah.
So it was on one of these sites on Facebook, and I said, I'll take it. They said, Ecto 1, I'm looking to just, does anyone want it? Otherwise, I'm going to put it in the bin. And it was just the magazines. So I thought, I could just take the magazines. When I went over there, it's only the bloody whole car as well.
Oh.
So they were just giving it away. They said they were going to put it in the bin because they said that Eagle Moss had finished it and they couldn't continue it with the new company because they didn't know what was going on. So they were just going to put it in the bin. So I now have a half-built Ecto 1 up to, I think it's issue 51 or 2 or 3 or something like that.
But no others. No
others. I don't know what to do with it. I just didn't think that it was right to push it in the bin.
Right.
I've got all the magazines and it's all built and it looks okay. It's very, very, very dusty. I've had to sort of clean it a little bit, but I don't know what to do with it now. So if anyone's got any suggestions, what I can do with extra. So basically, the whole bottom of the car is built, and I think some of the interior is built as well.
Could do a diorama and send it to and take it to Telford.
Yeah. So if anyone's got any ideas what I can do with it, I just didn't think it was right to put it straight in the bin because that's what they were going to do. So I've rescued it. It is here. I'll have to do a little video on it, I think, this week to show everyone.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought I'd just mention that. I got it, I think it was on Tuesday, and I just totally forgot. And then Ecto was like, oh yeah, I remember. So
Howard says, makes me wonder if they would do the one with the Hulk hands on the side. It's in the third movie.
I don't know. I'm almost certain that some of it all comes down to advertising. Even though they've got the Marvel license, they would have to have the they would have to get that agreed. Because I know some of the advertisement.
I think he's on about the Fast and Furious car.
Yeah. It'd be the same because they would still have to apply for it from Marvel because even though it's sort of like the paint job, it's obviously the Hulk car. So I don't know how licensing would go about that.
Yeah,
they might do it. Never say never.
No, that's true. David Hawley says the Dodge Charger is a fantastic build, my first Partwork build, and I love it. So easy to build and looks superb.
Yeah.
It is nice. I mean, I haven't done it myself, but yeah, I did issue 1. I did do.
Yeah, I sent you it. No, I sent you issue 1, didn't I?
Yeah, so I've done issue 1. We've got Jeff Lighting who says a very good evening, guys. Good evening, Jeff. Welcome.
Hi, Jeff.
And we've got Will's Workshop who says, I wonder if the Supra will be available as a full build.
It might be. I don't know.
Possibly. I mean, I know they've done that with the Megazord, but the Megazord's been out previously.
Yeah, I would imagine if a build has been out somewhere before previously, then they may be able to offer it as a full build. My understanding is that they probably wouldn't until it finished its initial run.
Yeah.
The problem with the Megazord is it done its initial run already in France before they offered it here. It's already finished. So they already were like, oh, we can already do the whole build. So,
yeah. So I don't know. With it being brand new to the market, it might not be offered as a full build.
Just yet.
Yeah, just yet. Yeah. Burgess says, not sure if I can do the Supra, but it's on my shortlist.
Yeah.
There's so much out there, though, now. There's so much variety.
And the problem is all these other companies keep bringing out newer stuff. So, like the Dalek, we never thought that was going to come out, and then obviously it happened. You got the stuff from Agora Models and Hachette. You just don't know sometimes when it's going to come out or what's going to come out.
Yeah.
Makes choosing difficult now.
Yeah. Howard says, apparently, though, we all must be a large. I guess I'll have to pin it to my body. Yeah, that's about the whole day.
Yeah, it wouldn't. The large wouldn't fit me. It's a nice hoodie. It looks really nice, but it wouldn't fit me.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd probably just about get it over my head.
I managed to get the large T-shirt on from the Enterprise D.
I managed to get the large T-shirt on for Optimus Prime, but it looked like, I know, maybe like I was about 10 years old. I could bring it down. It was very tight.
Right.
But I could get it on.
Yeah. Spider's Brew says, all about family.
Yeah. It's all about family.
Stephen Haynes Model says, Mark, did they sort out the landing gear door? As I have heard that they still don't work right. Well, I did my 64 of the Lancaster yesterday. My experience was when I put the hinges on the latest landing gear we built, it worked-ish. It wasn't perfect, but it worked-ish. When I put the new hinges on what we built originally on the old one, it didn't work at all.
Right, I'm wondering whether it might. I know you shouldn't have to, but I'm wondering whether you could put some magnets on it.
It's possible.
So when it comes up, the magnets hold it together, but they're not strong enough to push it open.
Yeah, I mean,
like keep it closed if you know what I mean. But yeah,
it was. I wasn't disappointed and I wasn't upset about it because I'd seen other people do it and it hadn't fixed the solution. The problem is, I think the complete landing gear needs a complete and utter redesign for it to work properly and smoothly. I don't think we're going to get that.
No,
to be honest with you. And with it displayed the way it is, as it's going over a dam, it's in flight mode.
Yeah.
So personally, I think they could have left out the landing gear and saved us about 40 issues.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have caused a problem.
And it's got the sounding of the Spitfire again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember this problem came up before and we were like, I hope it's not Spitfire.
But the thing about it is the difference with the Spitfire is it was a diorama base on the ground. The Lancaster is an aircraft in flight.
Yeah.
And with the Spitfire, you could do a takeoff and landing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I can understand the wheel, the landing gear going down on the Spitfire. But on the Lancaster, I don't understand why they've given us that option, because the finished model is in flight. The landing gear wouldn't be down.
Yeah.
Because it'd be adding extra drag, and they're flying at low speeds, at low altitudes to drop the bombs. So they would nowhere in this world have that landing gear down.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to give us two dioramas, one diorama of it flying over a dam, and then another diorama where it's on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
I don't think they do that either. So I'm thinking they could have probably saved themselves 20 odd issues by just not giving us that option.
Yeah. I was looking at it and I was thinking little magnets on each side. When it goes up, they could slam together and then open as it gets pushed out.
You know what? If they'd have thought, no, we won't. This is my opinion. If they'd have turned around and thought, you know what, we can save 20 issues. We're not going to put a landing gear in it.
Yeah.
This would save a hell of a lot of headache on that model.
Yes.
A heck of a lot of headache on that model. That means they could have worked on the motors a lot better to make sure that the propellers turned. And I'm sorry, but it's not been designed well. And they could have saved themselves a lot of... Instead of giving us something that's all dancing, give us something practical.
What issue are you on now? I can't remember the last one.
I've just done issue 64, which is going to be out on Wednesday, which is the replacement hinges. And it's just... You could have saved yourself all this headache by
so not... Still, what is it, 120 issues?
140.
Well, okay, so you're not even a year into it then?
No.
There's a long way to go.
That's my opinion. I would prefer no landing gear, no headache, and just had it, looking nice in flight, with the propellers running, with everything. Like I said, are they going to give us a second diorama? I don't know.
No.
Probably not, but,
Yeah.
And you ask any plastic model enthusiast who builds aircraft and dioramas, they would turn around and say, that landing gear shouldn't be down on that aircraft.
No. I think it's just one of those gimmicks that they've put on it to say it's accurate. So
or they could have completely skipped the landing gear and given us a crew. Because an aircraft in flight has to have a crew on it and as a model.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll carry on with chat. Enough said. I'm going to get in trouble by Harshette, but I'm just thinking it just doesn't make sense at all.
No, but it's you would have thought they had learnt from the Spitfire. And we did say right at the start, didn't we? Remember we were all talking about it right at the start when it first started. I hope it doesn't turn in. It shouldn't be like the Spitfire was. We shouldn't have these problems. And then I remember the problem with the engine. Lots of people had problems with it. And now it seems to be the landing gear now. So
Yeah.
Shame.
So, well, it's the landing gear and it's also the motors for the propellers that have been giving people the biggest headache on that build.
It's a shame because I think it had huge potential, but these little things have obviously they're massive setbacks, and yeah,
I just don't think it was thought through. Really,
it
could have been better thought through.
Yeah.
They could have, if they wanted to put it up to 140 issues, they could have done other things. They could have made the flaps move. To say that, because the flaps don't move on there, they could have done a heck of a lot more. To be honest with you, but that's my opinion. Yeah. Howard says that sounds like the story of my Partwork life. Sat twiddling thumbs, waiting for delays on old builds while they put out new builds. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing I think that's kind of damaging. I think as well because you know we've just seen a huge delay. It looks like mainly it's the old Eagle Moss ones that are having those delays, which is understandable because they're Eagle Moss ones. But obviously, they're obviously having delays with the Gauntlet as well. And yeah, I can understand. Like I said, I understand people's frustration with it because they're bringing out new builds.
Yeah, but not for.
But they're having problems with their other ones, and I can see both sides. So
yeah. Sorry about that rant, but that was just I had a good rant for a while. Howard says I've only been waiting to finish the R2 Falcon and Ford GT40 since Model Space days, a lot longer than other people. Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah, that is a hell of a long time.
We've got Ron Heaterman who says, hi Mark, Kevin, all in chat. Evening, Ron, welcome.
Hi Ron, welcome.
Bird just says, I have seen snow in early May a few times.
Wow.
I
suppose it's where you live, isn't it? So
yeah. Flip Dip says, hello Kitty, don't tell Luca Magnota. Netflix don't. Yeah, we cats. And then Andy Carroll says, I've noticed on Facebook a lot of Sideshow 1/6 figures.
Yeah.
And then he says around 200 quid mark. Just saw
IG11.
Yeah, IG11 for Mandalorian.
Yeah, the price obviously I'm in the 1/6 scale community and stuff, so there has been a slump in price over the last couple of years. The aftermarket for Hot Toys and Sideshow stuff used to be quite high, but it's a bit like the Partworks. They don't hold their value anymore. A bit like a car, really. You can buy it for £300 and it loses like £100 straight off.
Yeah.
If you try and resell it, so you can buy a lot of Hot Toys figures, especially Star Wars one, for about £120. So
yeah. Burgess says the Volkswagen in Tokyo Drift. Tiguan.
The Twagon.
Twagon?
Tigan. Yeah, I know what one you're on about.
World's Workshop says if they were to do the car from Tokyo Drift, I would expect the Nismo Mustang. Nismo? Yeah, I think I've got that right. So, but then Will says, I can't afford to do all the things I want to, and now I have a huge diorama to do. No time. No.
Yeah.
Richard Coppleton says, I had the same problem with the Ecto 1. Couldn't complete.
Yeah.
And then Dee says, cheers, Mark. Haven't watched the last Lank video yet. Oh, I'm just being honest. Dave Bill says, Harshett shouldn't bring out any more aircraft as the landing gear is always the problem, like the Spitfire. Mine just stopped working, cable snapped, and the motor burnt out. I'm at the point where if they're not going to fix it and it's not going to work, then I'm just not going to have the landing gear down.
Yeah. Seal it up. Yeah.
Seal it up and don't worry about it.
I would unplug it so there wasn't the intention to push the button. So, yeah.
And then Dave Matt Build says, I'm glad I didn't get the Lancaster now after all the problems I've seen. Lining up the engine to go into the motor and the props don't fit very well. Now, that's what I said.
No.
If they'd have taken out the landing gear, they could have easily made that them props move a lot easier.
It had, like I said, like we said, it had massive potential. It looked like it was going to be a really good build, and it's just been a letdown at the minute. Hopefully it can come back, but we'll find out.
Yeah. And D says, and now a spoiler for Wednesday's video, LOL. I don't have a rant on Wednesday's video. Well, not really, but, you know. Will's Workshop says, but the landing gear is a bit like the engine in the DeLorean. Can't see it, but it is there. Yeah. I just think it could be designed better. D says, rant over, LOL. Spice Bruce says, we all need a good rant. Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah. Burgess says, don't remind me of model space.
No, that's a dirty word.
I mean, everybody goes up in arms about what Eagle Moss did, but nobody remembers what model space did first.
Yeah, they got that trophy first, I think.
They did get that trophy first.
Yeah, we know of the Meg with Ian, and the ship with Wayne as well.
Burgess had the Porsche.
Yeah.
There was a few others as well that were left hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, wasn't a good one.
But that was all kind of swept under the carpet type thing. Yeah,
it's part of the Agostini, and they sort of, it was really, like you're saying, it sort of swept under the rug. Then they rebranded it, and everyone's sort of forgotten slightly. Most people haven't, but
with Eagle Moss, we were notified. With Model Space, if I remember correctly, there was no notification, no email, no news. It just went, and it was.
And then and then they said we weren't getting any more parts for that. It's like I've got half a building and that, and it was really bad.
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, everybody remembers Eagle Moss.
Eagle Moss, yeah.
So, Jack says the Hulk VW one from Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure which one that is. I haven't watched Tokyo Drift in a long time.
Yeah, so it's one of those films you kind of skip over because it doesn't have Dom or Brian in it.
It does have Dom in it.
Oh, it does have Dom in a cameo
at the end.
Yeah, but it was one of those films where they weren't really involved. It was that guy who moved there, and
it was more about the Japanese side of cars.
Yeah. That's the car there.
Oh, hang on. I pressed that.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like Hulk hands on it at the side and his mouth at the front.
Right.
It's in some museum now, but that was it's got like Hulk's molded hands at the side. Sorry. Then it's his mouth at the front here, and it's got hair along the top.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. It's one of those things where we're at that point. We've said it for a while now. We're at that point where you can't say nothing's off the table.
No, that's true.
So anything's possible.
Jack says either the Veilside RX-7 or the RB Mustang if there was to be a Tokyo Drift build.
Yeah.
That's a tongue twister. Andy Carroll says, I got Holy Grail of R2 parts, issue 37 ×2 replacement lightsaber switch kits.
Lovely.
They were very rare at one point with a lightsaber.
They were, yeah. There was a few parts. There's actually, to be fair, there's a few parts in every Partwork where the issues are like gold dust. Like you can get every single issue except these ones.
If I remember correctly, issue 100 of the R2D2. If you have one of them, you are sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah.
They go on eBay for about between 100 and 200 pound.
Yeah.
Just for that one issue.
There's a lot of like I said, in every partwork, there's always one or two issues you can never get.
But if you
And
remember
you get
when
'em.
Eagle Moss went under,
Yeah,
and Ecto 1 parts went crazy.
crazy. Yeah,
Absolutely on eBay.
yeah, because I think it's because it was so close to finishing. I think it was only the roof rack really that was left. If you were built up to the point where they stopped, I think it was only like the roof rack left to go.
Mm.
And so people were like, I want the rest of the parts so I can just have the roof rack off it, sort of thing.
I didn't start my next pack before the notification of Eagle Moss went under.
Yeah.
And I think I said in my video, yeah, I've got the next pack here ready to build and everything like that. And then it all went under. I had about 20 odd emails off people offering me stupid money for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid money. And I wouldn't sell it. And the reason I wouldn't sell it is I wouldn't sell it for stupid money.
Yeah.
To when it didn't cost me what they were offering.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people were that desperate to get hold of the packs.
It
went nuts. Absolutely crazy. So, and I think that's because the Ecto 1 was so close to finishing.
Yeah, it was very, very close. Yeah.
Yeah. Howard says, well, that's why I had to start all three mentions. So I'll have two R2D2 domes at the end of if I get my parts, because I'm getting the parts MS didn't, Model Space didn't give me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you could have two domes.
You could always redo one of them as another R2 unit. There's quite a few of them around.
I don't know. If I had two domes for the R2D2, I'd have one that worked, one as a diorama. So, you know, like in Return of the Jedi, when he gets shocked and all the bits come out of his head and
everything.
I'd have that. That would look awesome.
Yeah, because there's so many different versions of the R2.
Yeah.
So you could just paint it a different colour. There's a red one. Red one there.
Yeah.
You could always change them. There's loads of variations.
Yeah.
Should I say?
So. Jack says Tokyo Drift appears in Fast 7 and Fast X.
Right, yeah, because the guys that were in that film appear. They're the ones that send the car to space, if you remember. Yeah.
Well, that's possible, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is what I mean. We've
now gone from a film that was about cars to now sci-fi.
Well, it's a weird series. So the first three films, I think, are like based in reality, if you know what I mean. And then what they did is they sort of rebooted it, because the fourth film is called Fast and Furious, because originally it was The Fast and The Furious. And then when they got to number 4, they just called it Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they redone it, because that's, like I said, it became a heist movie, and the stuff that they were doing was like not real.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen in a few years' time? They'll go, right, we've finished doing the films now. I tell you what, for the 10-year, we'll re-release all of them and we'll sort out the order and put them in proper chronological order.
Yeah.
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 Jack also says, and I think Fast 9 for the Lotus went to space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Howard says, I'm doing one as R2Q5, the black and copper version.
Yeah, the
Is that the Imperial ride?
Yeah, that's the Imperial one.
Yeah.
What was it? R2 Q5. Yeah, it's the Imperial one. It's cool. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Imperial droid. Yeah.
Andy Carroll says, "Did you know John Wayne was in Star Wars?"
Where? Well, the first one.
Well, he actually explains. He was the creature that showed stormtroopers to Docking Bay 94.
Ah, right. Okay.
I didn't know that. I've seen it somewhere. So, yeah. Ian's World and Model says, on the Lancaster, my fix for the undercarriage doors was hinges made from tape. Not perfect, but better than any material ones I tried. Yeah. But you see, the problem is some people are just not at that level of skill
Yeah.
to do that, and they want something out the box to build. That's the problem.
Yeah,
And
that's where
that's what Partworks should offer you.
That's what Partworks are. You don't have to have any sort of. I think that's why a lot of like model builders don't like Partworks, because it's really bad, but you don't need any skill to do Partworks. Like you're saying, you take it out of the box, you screw the parts together, it's done. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to be an electrician. You don't have to wire it. It's all in the diagrams and stuff like that. I think that's why there's that frustration between the normal model builder that builds the Airfix stuff and Partworks, and why they don't like over the price, but they don't like that as well, because it's sort of cheating in a way, because you don't have to paint it, you don't have to put decals on it. You take all the skill out of it, sort of thing. It's still skillful, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you're building like the Trumpeter, it's a bit different when you like if you're building the Trumpeter Titanic, and then you built the Partwork one. You don't remember with the Partwork one, you don't have to paint it. All the electrics are done for you.
You got to think about that. The advertised Partworks is easy to build.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah,
and somebody coming across that for the first time wouldn't class that as easy to build.
No, and like you were saying, some people don't have the skill and they like stuff out of the box.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I think people go, well, I can't do models, but I can do Partworks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'm the thing is, I'm not the world's greatest painter. With Partworks, I don't have to paint them.
Yes. Yes, that's it.
I can add touches here and there, but I don't have to paint the entire model.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that, and then like I said, there's the complication of wiring something. So people don't know how to do an Arduino maybe, or how they do the circuit boards. This is all. It takes all of that out. All you got to do is plug in. The
thing about it is the other stuff I've learned along the way.
Yeah, you do. This is the good thing about Partworks, is that you sort of learn everything along the way. You have to. Yeah. Because these models aren't perfect, and that's another thing as well that a lot of traditional modelers don't like as well, is that how imperfect these are. Because obviously with a plastic model, you can make it perfect.
Yeah.
With these, there's certain bits you can't do that with, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you go, oh, that's wrong, and they're like, well, you can't really change that. But if it was a normal model, you could change it to make it perfect. So... yeah.
Then I'd say there's definitely a level of, we've said this before, there's a level of skill on certain Partworks.
Just like with normal models, there is a level to every Partwork. Some are easier than others.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. D Harris says, well, a good night, Mark and Kev. Until next time, see you tomorrow night, Kev.
Yep. See you tomorrow night, D.
Night, D. Dave Bill says, been a great stream tonight, guys. Looking forward to your videos through the week. Thank you, Dave.
Brilliant. Cheers, Dave.
And I'm at the end of chat. Wow. Wow.
We've got there. It's a nice sunny day. It's still sunny outside. It's lovely. But yeah, like we're going back to the skill thing. But yeah, lots of people like stuff out of the box. It's why a lot of these Partwork companies, even like companies like Partwork Upgrades, because they took out all of the stuff for it, and like with Mike Lane as well, perfect examples might claim when he does the electric mods or the carpet mods. So he makes so normally a traditional builder would have done those already, if you know what I mean. So they saw the car, and if you're into your models and you know how to build stuff, you would have done the carpet yourself. But lots of people don't have that skill, so they go to people like Mike Lane, who does have the skill to make it and sells it to you. And like I said, people like stuff out of the box.
Yeah.
They don't want to like measure stuff, cut stuff. They want to just take it straight out, straight in.
Yeah.
So, and that's with, like I said, lots of models. So,
Dave McBuild says, and Matt, do get the Warhammer Sentinel. Oh, I don't know. Dave,
if you want to look at the forged weld stuff, I've been watching your diorama. It's brilliant, by the way, absolutely brilliant. I do love the dioramas. But you want to be looking at the forged weld, and you want to look at the Titans.
Okay.
Right. So, honest, right? These Titans, they're in scale with the Warhammer stuff.
Right.
But these Titan things are like 50, 60 centimeters.
Oh.
And they have pods you can take in and out as well. And they're not cheap. Let's put it that way. Forged weld is sort of like the high end of Warhammer. So you have Warhammer. Forged weld is like the next level.
Okay. David Holly says, a very good night, guys, and thanks once again. Catch you both next time. Thank you both. No problem.
Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, David. Brilliant.
Ian's World of Model says, great stream, guys. See everyone next week. Good night, Ian. Thank you.
Cheers, Ian.
Spider Sprue says, great stream, guys. Night, Spider Sprue.
Night, Spider Sprue.
And Dave McBill says, I'll have a look at them, Kev. Will's Workshop says, I've been telling everyone that Mark is doing the Hello Kitty. No, I'm not. I am not doing Hello Kitty. Look forward to it coming to Mark's channel. Great stream. Good night, all. I am not doing it. I'm not spending money on that. No chance.
Here's Will.
Matt's hobby says he's getting Hello Kitty. I am not getting Hello Kitty.
It was just a test. It was just a test. It won't come out over here.
And then Jack says, my housemate has been trying to show me Warhammer stuff. It looks insane. It does.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's been it tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody, for your comments and everything. You've more or less said what you've got coming up next week, haven't you, Kev?
Yeah. There's stuff coming. There's stuff be on the channel. No worry about
that. Yeah. Okay. Andy Carl says, night, Mark. Night, Kev. By the way, Mark, did you send Kev them Star Destroyer pictures?
He did, yeah. It looked fantastic. It looked really good. I did see that, Andy. Brilliant.
And David Hawley says, Mark, you know you want to. No, I'm not doing Hello Kitty. And yeah, for me this week, there'll probably be 2 videos out per day, which will be the normal video for the day, and there'll be an extra one of the orrery until I've done Part 12. And then hopefully it will be more of the U96 as well as all that coming. So 2 videos for the next few weeks, guys, for me. So
Brilliant.
I did say I'd do something a little bit more exciting for the channel. So there we go.
Looking good.
Got more coming out. And then Howard says, we are testing Mark's sanity. Say goodbye, Matt. I am saying goodbye.
See you later.
So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. It just leaves me to say, I've been Mark.
And I've been Kev.
I will catch you all next time. Night all.
See you later, guys. See you later.